Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Again, Monday, all of our guests today sponsored by our friends at Passant Motors, and that includes our next guest. Poll question coming up in a bit. As I said, Ben Hankinson, former NHLer, now an NHLPA player agent. His list of clients includes a couple of Canucks. Luke Shen is one.
Oh, yeah.
Another is Brock Boeser. Ben, thanks so much for doing this. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Dolly and Donnie. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's Donnie and Dolly, Ben. You're going to get me in trouble.
Is that what he said?
You text me to say that. You said stir it up. and fight.
Come on, Ben.
Hey.
It's going to get hairy here. Don't do that.
I've heard it all, Ben. When it comes to this guy, you know what he's like. In all seriousness, though, Ben, your reaction to the emotion Brock Boeser displayed as he talked about his dad's health yesterday?
I wasn't shocked. I was, I don't think that's something Brock, anticipated or wanted, to come out like that. But it's just, that's the really interesting and cool part of, watching these guys perform is realizing there's a lot more to it than just what you see on the ice. So I think it was probably a good thing, believe it or not, for Brock to go through that and just let it out, because he doesn't say anything to me, his mom, his brother, his sister, his dad. It was really cool, to be honest. I was at the morning skate the last time the Canucks played at the Wild. Duke did not go to the game that night. He struggled the previous time they played a few weeks before, a month before, whenever it was, and it's just too hard for him to get to that game at night, and for his mom and everyone else. So to see him spend that time in the morning with his dad, 2 inches from his face, trying to communicate with his dad, and to see actually a couple other Canucks players that know Duke and the family really well. I'm not going to name names, but Petey was one, and it's pretty emotional to even watch that. And it was good at the morning skate, or after the morning skate, that Brock had spent some time with his dad there, and the Canucks were fantastic. The last time they let him stay overnight. So I think overall, in summary, to answer your question, I think Brock was a little rattled that even after that, thinking he screwed up and was embarrassed. But it couldn't, in today's day and age with everything out there, and it's just good for him to emotionally go through that and let people see what the average person deals with. And just because he's a great hockey player doesn't make it any different.
Thanks for that, Ben. We speculated earlier that Elias may have been thinking about his hockey dad when he showed his emotion during yesterday's press conference. I wasn't aware that he had met with Duke quite recently. Ben, let me set the record straight. It seems like you feel that Ben Kuzma's questioning, his line of questioning, the reporter's line of questioning, wasn't out of line.
That's a great question, and you could ask Brock, and I don't mean to speak on his behalf, but I know Brock was okay with it, and I don't think it was out of line. You could debate it, all you want. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, but I didn't have a problem with it because Brock didn't have a problem with it, and I think overall it's good that, like I said, it got out. Maybe it wasn't the perfect forum, but I don't think it was anything. I talked to Brock after, and he, like I said, he was kind of caught off guard, but he wasn't in any way, I don't think, upset with Ben and the question, because it was an uncovered something to do with obviously how the season goes for personal reasons with these guys. You're talking about Petey or whoever. Like there's hockey's what percent of it, and then mentally, what goes on between the ears is just as important as anything you can do in a weight room or physically can do with your skill.
Ben, you played the game of hockey. You got so many clients across the National Hockey League. You just made a good point about, these guys are human beings, all this stuff. Go back and tell us the last couple of years for Brock. There's been trade rumors. You're in a Canadian market. Goals were down a little bit this year. How tough is it at times for these guys, and how tough is it for Brock in the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think goal scorers in particular, you get measured on your numbers, and that's the way it should be. That's you're on stage, and the fans pay a lot of money to watch games and are loyal, and especially in the Canadian markets, it's fabulous. Brock has never ducked that. There's been plenty of times, even behind the scenes, to talk with management about contracts. Back in the Benning area, Benning to now Patrick. He loves it. He loves it in Vancouver. And that's the ultimate. I think playing in a Canadian market specifically, and Minnesota is a great market too. But I had Dustin Bufflin playing in Winnipeg for a long time, and he loved it there. And before that, he played in Prince George, which was not the greatest probably place to play, and loved that too. I have Timmy Stützle that plays in Ottawa. It's a fantastic spot. So Brock, he's never shied away. He loves all the good things that go with it. There's a lot of great opportunities for him. Whether he's been a fan favorite for many years, and he had some games this year. He had 4 goals in his first 22 games. That wasn't a great start, and that is something to do with how the team played too. And the coach got fired, and the GM got fired, and staff. And that's no fun. And these guys have to realize, they have to point the fingers at themselves too. And since Bruce, stepped in, the team obviously played well, and Brock, scored a pile of goals in those next games. But there's the last few years, it's not easy to break into that league. He had a great experience. 5 years ago, Duke came and read the starting lineup the next day after his college season was eliminated, I think in 2017. And a lot has happened from that point 5 years to now with Duke. And even he started out on fire and didn't know if he was even going to be in the NHL or Utica that first year, 17-18 season. Had a great start. And then the expectations are whatever these guys did this year, we need them to be better next year if we're going to win. And it's not as easy. If you're a goal scorer, you got to get the puck and you got to score. And so there's a lot that goes into that. And he's puts a lot of pressure on himself. He can score goals, and he will score goals and continue to. But there's a lot of you can see even Luke Schenn, what he battled through to get to where he is, and he's a completely different type of player. But he worked with the skills coach and did everything he needed to off the ice, and took a trip to the minors and back a few different times, and how he's evolved and just what goes through his head, to get to where he is and trying to play a big role in playing with Hughes and being a policeman out there and still making plays. And it's not easy for these guys. It's a tough business, but it's up to them. They have to perform, and especially in the Canadian market, there's no better. But when it's not going well, they have to take the criticism.
Ben, contract's up for Brock Boeser. You've been talking to the Canucks. Can you get something done?
I hope so. There's already a number in place, and you guys can talk all you want, obviously, about what could happen here. They have them at a number next year, and it's just we got some work to do. What's going to happen? I've talked to them during the year, Patrick and Jimmy, before Patrick got there, Jim Rutherford, and I have a good relationship with both those guys, and I think hopefully we'll figure something out. Obviously, they have to look at, every other player and where they fit in the cap, and it'll be a little bit of a battle to figure it all out. But the plan is to get Brock back there next year and many more years to come.
When the contract is done, give Rick a call. Let us be first, okay? Give us the scoop.
Ben,
right,
just a little tidbit scoop. That's all I want, Ben. You know that.
That'd be a big tidbit.
Yeah.
Thanks for this, Ben.
You guys work hard at it. You guys have the good scoop, so I don't know where you get them, but I know you're always pushing every angle there is.
I thought they all came from you.
Oh, no.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, thanks, you guys. Donnie and Dolly, I appreciate it.
That's better. We'll get you back on. Thanks, Ben. Ben Hankinson,
Good guy,
NHL player, agent.